Good morning. I'm Ed McNeil, Marketing and Communications Director for the City of Winston-Salem, and it's my pleasure to welcome each of you as we gather to celebrate the graduation of Basic Law Enforcement Training Class 66. Please rise as the recruits from the 66th Academy enters the room with the WSPD training staff. Please remain standing as the WSPD's Honor Guard presents our national colors, followed by the singing of the national anthem by Police Officer Florette Gregory Phillips. It is the protocol of the Winston-Salem Police Department that sworn officers who are wearing hats salute, and staff not wearing hats and the non-sworn staff place their right hand over their heart at the order to present arms. Please join us appropriately.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight over the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you. Please be seated. I'll now call forward WSPD Chaplain Dr. Nathan Scovins for our invocation.
Merciful God, we are so grateful for this day and the blessings that you have bestowed upon us. We thank you for life, health, and strength. We're grateful even for this holiday season that brings families and friends together. We thank you for Class 66. We thank you, God, for their sacrifice, their service, and their willingness to be servants in this great community. We pray blessings upon this occasion for which we have gathered, as they will leave this place to serve our community. And we just pray your divine favor upon them and their families. For we thank you for all things, both great and small. For we believe and trust and know that when one has committed themselves to be a servant, that they are greatest amongst us all. For we give you all praise, honor, and glory. In your name we pray. We ask blessings. Together we say, Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain Scovins. On June 10, 2013, the 66th Winston-Salem Police Academy convened, and the men and women we will recognize today began a quest to become Winston-Salem police officers. The coming weeks were filled with challenges, difficulties, and great accomplishments, all culminating today with the 30 individuals seated before you. They have fulfilled that journey and now begin a new pursuit, one of public service and self-sacrifice. The city of Winston-Salem is guided by a council made up of 8 members and headed by Mayor Alan Joines. With 30 years of service, Alan retired as deputy city manager in 2000. He was first elected mayor in 2001. He is now serving in his 4th term as mayor. Please welcome Mayor Alan Joines.
Thank you, Ed. To Councilmember Taylor, to our Speaker of the Hour, Coach Walker, to our City Manager, other members of the dais, family and friends who are here today, but most of all to Class 66. Good morning. It's my honor to be here as mayor. Matter of fact, this is one of the best jobs I have as mayor is when we celebrate the graduation of our police basic law enforcement training academy. Always makes me feel good to look upon the faces of these young men and women who are out there getting ready to serve our city. You know, to me, the highest responsibility that a city can have is public safety, making sure our citizens are safe in their homes, in their workplace, and as they go about their daily lives. So we're so fortunate to have such a wonderful Winston-Salem Police Department represented here by some of the senior staff that are here. Just recently was reaccredited once again after for many, many times, and we've been selected as one of the top programs in the country. So you're joining a great organization. So on behalf of the citizens of Winston-Salem, there are about 235,000 plus of us here in Winston-Salem, so you've got a big job ahead of you. I want to personally, as mayor of Winston-Salem, say thank you for your willingness to take on the mantle of public service as you protect our citizens every day and put your life on the line for us. To the families of these individuals and friends, I know you've been supporting them all through this. They are going to continue to need that support as they go into the next phase of their final training and then finally out on the street protecting us. They're going to need your support when they come home and after a tough day and keeping their spirits up. I know you will do that, and I know you're very, very proud of them. Thank you for being with us today as we celebrate a special day for these young men and women, but also a very special day for the citizens of Winston-Salem and the city of Winston-Salem as we welcome them to public service. Thank you again for your willingness to step up in service. God bless you.
Thank you, Mayor Joines. Our next speaker was elected to council in November of 2009 to represent the Southeast Ward. He also served as the vice chairman of public safety. Re-elected last month to start his second term, he was also selected by his peers to serve as the chairman of the Public Safety Committee. Please welcome Council Member of the Southeast Ward, James Taylor, Jr.
Good morning. I bring you greetings on behalf of the Winston-Salem City Council, and I see that I am joined here by my colleague, Councilmember Dan Bessie, and I thought that I saw Councilmember Vivian Burke a little earlier. I also bring you greetings on behalf of the Public Safety Committee for the City of Winston-Salem. It is indeed an honor and a privilege to stand before you today. As I look over the audience and I see all of the bright and shining faces and all of the encouraging looks toward Class 66, it reminds me why I decided to step into the role of being a public servant. To Class 66, I am a fairly young man, as you can see, but what I've learned over my years of public service is something that I'm sure that you know far too well. To whom much is given, much is certainly required. There will be times where you may not feel like getting out of the bed, but always remember much is required. There may be times where you may want to stay with your family and your children and your mother and father just a little bit longer, but much is required. There may be times where you've given 100% and you may be asked to give just a little bit more, but I always remember that much is required, and know that your labor does not come without reward. And for those who are listening, that was your chance to get up and run out of the door. But seeing that you're still here, it says two things. It says to me that you're men and women of valor and men and women of honor. And I appreciate you both hearing and answering the call to service, and I'm looking forward to serving with you for many years to come. To all the family and friends and everybody who's in the audience, please join me in giving Class 66 a thunderous round of applause. I also have the honor and privilege of introducing our speaker of the hour, Mr. Tom Walter. Tom Walter could be called a turnaround artist. After rejuvenating the New Orleans baseball program after Hurricane Katrina, he joined Wake Forest baseball team. In the time as the Wake Forest baseball coach, Walter has returned the program to the ACC tournament and has watched a school record 6 players be drafted in the Major League Baseball first-year player draft. His players went in the 3rd, 12th, 13th, 24th, 26th, and 37th rounds. But it's not what he's done outside as his role as coach that has made him a more recognized name. In 2011, Coach Walter donated a kidney to outfielder Kevin Jordan, who was suffering from a kidney disease. Please join me in welcoming Wake Forest baseball coach, Mr. Tom Walter.
Thank you. As you can imagine, I do quite a bit of public speaking, and normally I'm not very nervous, but I got to tell you, you know that feeling you get when you're driving down the street and a police cruiser pulls up behind you? Times 500. First and foremost, I just want to congratulate Class 66 for their call to service. And hearing that call, as was so eloquently put, I couldn't have said that better myself. And it's just really an honor for me to be here and recognize your accomplishment and the task you're about to start. So congratulations. It's an honor for me to be here. When we stand before our Maker at decision time, I truly believe the decision is going to be very easy. It's going to be whether or not we made a difference. It's going to be whether or not we left the world a better place than when we found it. And the young men, the men and women in this room are making that difference every single day. And we can never repay you for that. It'll never be fully appreciated. And it'll often go unnoticed. But it doesn't mean it isn't real, and it doesn't mean you're not making a difference. Prior to coming here today, I talked to a police officer that I know well. And I asked him, what would you say? What would you say to this group of young men and women in their hour of pride? And I'm going to read this to you word for word because I thought it was very powerful. He said, your job will be filled with frustration, anger, and a changed view of society forever. No one will understand except other cops. Family life will be very rough at times. However, the very few instances that are positive will make it all worthwhile. And for him to come up with that on the cuff, I thought was amazing, and I spent the better part of a few days just kind of mulling that over and what that really meant. And I was just blown away by those words. And I asked myself the question over and over again, in what other profession do they make such life-changing sacrifices day in, day out for such little reward, for such little recognition? In what other profession? And the answer to that is none. There is no other profession. The men and women in this room are unique to our society. They're special to our society because they make sacrifices. They do things that other people aren't willing to do, and will be forever indebted. So I asked myself, what am I going to say to this group of men and women? I don't have the first clue what led you to this decision. I don't have the first clue about what you're about to go through, the decisions you'll be faced with, the things that are about to enter in your life, the difficulties and challenges that are about to enter your life. I don't have the first clue about those things, about who you are or what you're about to do. But as I look around the room, as I watched you march in, the one thing I noticed was a great deal of pride. I watched how your colleagues received you, how the gentlemen, the men and women on this stage have received you, and I see brotherhood, and I see family. And to me, pride and brotherhood and family, well, that's a team. And I do know something a little bit about a team. And I just want to talk to you a little bit about what I talked to our team about, and maybe you can take a word or two away from that, and it'll help you in what you do. We use the acronym DEACS, D-E-A-C-S. We're the Demon Deacons. DEACS is short for deacons. We're baseball guys, so we're pretty low on the academic food chain. So I've got to keep it pretty simple for our group. And let me preface by saying, before I talk about what DEACS means, let me preface it by saying two things. Being a DEAC for our guys is not a sometime thing. It's an all-the-time thing. And I think that's an important distinction. You can't be a servant, an officer, some of the time when you're just on the job and not be that way at home. You can't be at half the time. Can't be at 99% of the time. It's a 100% commitment, 24/7, as the saying goes. And we talk to our guys about that all the time, about that commitment. And the second thing I want to preface it by saying is there's a huge difference between a job, a career, and a mission. All right, a job is just picking up a paycheck. You're not invested in your job. That's just showing up every day, putting in your 8 hours, going home and not thinking about it the other 16 hours a day, showing up the next day at work. All right? A career is a little more invested. A career means you have goals for the future, you see the big picture, you're invested. A mission is I know what you're on. A mission is something that you live and breathe with every breath, every second of the day. And I know the men and women in this room are on a mission, and again, can't thank you enough for that. So DEACS, what does that stand for? For us, it stands for D, it stands for dedication. Okay? What is dedication? Staying true to yourself, staying true to the mission, staying true to your family, no matter what. Even when it's hard, even when it's impossible, stay true to yourself, your family, the mission, your brotherhood. We talk to our guys about the difference between being a Boy Scout and a bounty hunter. So we come into the locker room, we're Boy Scouts as we're walking into the locker room, but when we lace those cleats up, right, we hang our jersey up in our locker, our dress shirt up in our locker, right, we go from Boy Scout mode to bounty hunter mode. I assume it's got to be similar for you men and women when you take your job, when you get into the squad car, when you lace it up in the morning, right? You've got to turn off the family life, and you've got to be fully engaged in your job, in your mission for that period of time, 8 hours, 10 hours, 16 hours, whatever it is. That's what we talk to our guys about knowing that difference. And then the same thing, and telling our guys that when you hang that shirt up, you've got to leave your problems, you've got to leave your family problems, you've got to leave your sick grandmother, you've got to leave your academic problems, your girlfriend that just broke up with you. You've got to leave all that stuff in your locker. All that stuff will be waiting for you when you get out. When you come out of practice, all that stuff's going to be waiting for you there anyway. It'll be there. So when you're with us for those 4 hours in practice, you've got to be fully engaged. Same thing when you're on your shift. When you're doing your mission. Be fully engaged. And then again, same thing, when you turn it off and you're with your family, you've got to go to Boy Scout mode. You've got to turn that off and be fully engaged with your family. And be fully involved in their lives. And I know that's difficult. Believe me, easier said than done. The E in DEECS is for energy. We talk about relentless energy. That's the term we use. Attacking each day with relentless energy. And energy is contagious. If you're around somebody who's energetic, you can't help but be energized. You can't help but have that feeling of energy. And for you men and women, every day you can attack with energy, somebody else is going to catch that energy. And it's going to be contagious. Live in the moment. Talk to our guys about living in the moment. The A, attitude. We talk about an attitude of excellence. And I read that in your program, commitment to excellence. And a lot of these words I'm saying I read in your program, law enforcement guide, code of ethics, commitment to excellence, the message from the command staff, this is all the same stuff. The attitude of excellence, what is that? Holding yourself to the highest standard. Set the bar for yourself, and then hold your brotherhood accountable to that, and have them hold you accountable to that. That's an attitude of excellence. Being a good enough teammate, being a good enough brother that you can go up to your other brother and say, this is not how we do things. It means caring enough to make a difference. It means checking your ego at the door and putting the family first, the mission first, the brotherhood first, the community first. That's an attitude of excellence. The C is for confidence. Supreme confidence we talk about. You've got to have supreme confidence in yourself, supreme confidence in your brothers, supreme confidence in the program, the department, and the community. Confidence. And the last S is selfless. You've always got to put the needs of others first. And you guys do that. You're already doing that. You've been doing that your whole lives. When we talk about these core covenant words in all aspects of life, we talk about being a DEEC in the classroom, being a DEEC in social settings, being a DEEC when it comes to nutrition, making decisions in the cafeteria, being a DEEC when it comes to getting rest, being a DEEC when it comes to, obviously, workouts, every part of your life. And whatever your core covenant values are, and again, I read them over and over again in your brochure, living those every single day, breathing those. Willing to do what others won't do makes greatness. So our motto, to put it all together, our motto is we are dedicated to attacking each day, each practice, each workout with relentless energy. We are dedicated to living life with an attitude of excellence. We are dedicated to having supreme confidence. See, spelling is a bad thing for me. We are dedicated to having supreme confidence in ourselves, in our program, in our teammates, in our family, and we are dedicated above all else to being selfless, to always putting the needs of one another first. In closing, I just want to say a couple more things, and thank you for your time. After my surgery, I was called a hero. I was called that many times. To this day, I get called that. People come up to me and say, you're a hero. And obviously, that's just couldn't be further from the truth. I get very embarrassed when that happens. I usually put my head down and mumble something incoherent about not being a hero. The men and women in this room are heroes. You do it every day. Every single day. The heroes are right here. So more than anything else that I've said today, what I really want to say, what I really mean from the bottom of my heart more than anything else I've said is thank you. Thank you for your service. There will be times where you aren't thanked and aren't appreciated. But know that it's not unnoticed. Know that it's not unappreciated. And know that we're forever grateful. Speaking on behalf of our community and myself and our baseball program and Wake Forest University, we're forever grateful for your service. And thank you and God bless.
Thank you, Coach. Now, please allow me to take a moment to introduce the training staff. These dedicated individuals are committed to the success of our organization through the development and education of its personnel. They work tirelessly on numerous projects and programs while providing unwavering support to the recruits and veteran officers as well. They often arrive before dawn and begin their physical training and then often work late into the evening. They are a group of professionals who devote all of their efforts into molding these individuals into a team and part of Winston-Salem's finest. Please rise as I call your name. Assistant Chief Brian Blakely, Captain Patricia Murray, Lieutenant Danny Watts, Sergeant John Morris, Sergeant Wynn Matthews, Corporal Hassan Gettings, Corporal Amy Collins, Corporal Mark Slater, Corporal Brian Ashley, Corporal Jason Bryant, Miss Jean Johnson, Senior Office Assistant. Please join me in giving these individuals a well-deserved round of applause. Thank you. Not everyone who wants to become a police officer is accepted into the academy. The men and women of the recruiting division reviewed more than 1,400 applicants to seat the group that included Class 66. Please stand when I call your name. Sergeant William Penn, Corporal Ronique Reedus, Corporal Caroline Renew, Police Officer Christina Martin, Police Officer Jimmy Falk, Police Officer Thomas Day, Police Officer James Singletary. Retired officers Pat Miller, Paul O'Neill, Al Vance, and Lyman Clark. I'll ask now that all Academy instructors and field training officers please rise. There are 100 certified instructors at the department and Forsyth Tech who are committed to training our cadets. These are but a small pool or a small sample of that instructor pool that provided more than 960 hours of instruction. Their dedication and hard work is a testament to their professionalism. Among these standing are representatives of the Post-Academy Training Program. They are the field training officers. The WSPD's Post-Academy Training Program involves the assignment of an entry-level officer to a field training officer, an FTO, who serves as a guide and a model for the inexperienced officer. The FTO undertakes a dual role, patrol officer and trainer. As a trainer, the FTO must build on the FTO is responsible for molding that officer into a professional, productive member of the WSPD staff. Please join me in thanking the Academy instructors and our field training officers. You may be seated. Now, as is customary at Academy graduation, each class selects one of their members as the class president, and one of the duties of the class president is to deliver the Academy address. The representative for Class 66 is recruit Seth Conklin.
Good morning. First off, I want to start off by saying thank you, Mayor, council members, for being here today for Class 66 graduation. I also want to thank the command staff, the training staff, for being here today for the transformation of recruits to police officers. I left them for last, obviously, but they're probably the most important, our family and friends. I want to thank them for being here today. Without you guys standing by us for 28 weeks, it would not be possible. Thank you for standing by us for that long. I want to say it's an honor for being up here today, being chosen by my class to be the Class 66 president. On June 10th, 30 strangers, we didn't know anybody, we didn't know our names, we didn't know anything. All we could look at is our name tags, and that's how we know each other. But now, we know each other's nicknames and much more. way more. You know, we started off and we had 28 weeks of training, over 1,000 hours of countless grueling time in the classroom. And then we had the test. We all remember the test. We never thought they would be over, but they're over. The written ones, but not the test out on the streets. Remember that. Then we had to do push-ups, 2,800 push-ups. We all remember that day. We had to do lots of hall hours with planks, also known as the thinking position. Thank you, Sergeant. But for all, we took the first step in our career today. But don't forget not to stop learning and not to stop, to keep moving forward and to always, always keep learning. Remember, you're that sponge. Before I talk to class, I want to take some time and thank the instructors. First, Sergeant Morris. Thank you for everything you have done for us. We know you had to put up with a lot with us. Well worth it. We all know, but we also have in return, we learned a lot from you. And we are grateful that you were chosen as our sergeant for BLET. Thank you, Sergeant. I want to take time to thank Corporal Gettings. Corporal Gettings, where do I start? First, I want to say thank you very much for your training within TASER and OC. Shockingly, we all had a good time, but we know you enjoyed it the most. Grateful we don't have to do that again. To Corporal Collins, thank you for getting us physically fit for everything, for out on the street, and teaching us how to drive the right way. Who knew? And for Corporal Slater, thank you so much for all the radar knowledge that you have given us. We know it was a headache for you. And thank you for the crazy PT session you gave us out in the parking lot that day. And for the instructors that I haven't mentioned, thank you for everything that you have guys done for us, like the firearms instructors, instructors in the class, everyone that has participated in teaching us everything. We have learned a lot from you, and we're going to make you proud out on the streets. And to Class 66, finally, congratulations. We have made it to the greatest profession that you could possibly think of today. Today is your day. We have a unique opportunity to help people, protect and serve our community when we need to. You know we're on call 24/7. If you need to help someone, make sure you're there to help them and remember what you learned in class. I can't wait to hear you guys' stories on the first day. You know, I know all you guys are going to have great stories to tell. I hope we all keep in contact with each other, because we just became such a tight family. You know, I was in the Marine Corps before, and I thought that was a tight family, but nothing came close to the 30 individuals today that I stand forward. I'll do anything for you guys. You guys are friends, family, and more. Thank you once again, and good luck, and always be safe out there. Remember what you have learned. And sorry, it's a little difficult. You guys, just remember what you learned and be safe out there. Congratulations.
Congratulations and thank you, Recruit Conklin. Traditionally, the Winston-Salem Police Department presents special awards during graduation to members of each class who have distinguished themselves during academy training. Today, we honor 3 members of Class 66 with the inaugural Vivian H. Burke Character Award, the Honor Graduate Award, and our highest award, the Lieutenant Aaron G. Tice Jr. Colleague Award. We'll begin with our newest award, the Vivian H. Burke Character Award, to be presented by City Manager Lee Garrity.
Good morning. Before I begin, I want to acknowledge the Mayor Pro Tem, Vivian H. Burke, has entered the room. Thank you for being here. Today we are presenting the first Vivian H. Burke Character Award. The award is named for Councilmember and Mayor Pro Tem Vivian H. Burke, who served as chair of the Public Safety Committee for 36 years. This permanent award will be given to the recruit in each police and fire recruit training class who best exhibits the qualities of integrity, ethical behavior, team building that demonstrate the strength of their character. The dictionary defines character as those attributes and ethical traits that distinguish a person. In essence, character is revealed by what a person does, especially when no one is looking. Those of you who have had the honor and opportunity to work with Councilmember Vivian H. Burke know how important character is to her. She epitomizes words like respect, manners, dignity, integrity, and grace. And if you don't, she will tell you so. It is an honor, a distinct honor, to present the first Vivian H. Burke Character Award to Ryan Rendelman.
Thank you, Mr. Garrity, and congratulations, Mr. Rendelman. Our next award is the Honor Graduate Award, and it is presented by Assistant Chief Connie Southern and Beth Hutchins, the widow of Sergeant Mickey Hutchins, who was killed in the line of duty. Ms. Hutchins did plan to be with us today, but she has a grandchild who's recently been ill, and so she had to be with the grandchild. But we will present the award now with Chief Connie Southern. And for those of you who don't know, for Ms. Hutchins, her husband, Sergeant Mickey Hutchins, was the recipient of this award some 30 years ago, and so that's why her involvement has been so continued in the presentation of this award since her husband died, making the greatest sacrifice of all for our city.
First, good morning to everyone. Good morning. And recruit class 66, a very, very big congratulations to each and every one of you, and thank you guys very much for joining our team. Entrance level training for class 66 police trainees consisted of 960 hours of law enforcement training. The Honor Graduate Award is presented each year to that trainee who has the highest academic grade average overall. The Honor Graduate for recruit class 66 completed the training with an amazing 98.5 grade average. The Honor Graduate Award for Class 66 goes to Police Officer Aaliyah Beer.
Now for the highest award an Academy member can receive. This award is one which each officer present here today is familiar with and cherishes as a symbol and a reminder of the great price that members of this profession might be asked to pay for the privilege of serving in law enforcement. Assistant Chief Alonzo Thompson will now present the Lieutenant Aaron G. Tice Jr. Colleague Award. He'll be joined also by members of the Tice family.
Good morning. Before I begin, I'd just like to wish everyone a very safe and happy holiday season and safe travels back home after this event. Lieutenant Aaron Jerome Tice Jr. Colleague Award. The Colleague Award is named for Aaron Jerome Tice Jr., who joined the Winston-Salem Police Department on October 3, 1968 as a police officer. During his exemplary career, Lieutenant Tice served in the patrol, detective, vice and narcotics, and training divisions. He was a mild-mannered, well-loved, and highly respected member of our department. While working as a field commander in the patrol division during the early morning hours of June 26, 1992, Lieutenant Tice was assisting officers in the investigation of a stolen motor grader being driven recklessly in the Lakeside apartment complex. Lieutenant Tice was killed instantly when his patrol car was deliberately crushed by the driver of the stolen motor grader. His physical absence has been felt by all who knew him, but his spiritual presence endures. A few weeks before BLET graduation, the members of each recruit class are asked to vote for one of their peers who best represents the spirit and attitude of Lieutenant Tice. The class is asked to select that person who is trustworthy, hardworking, dependable, and courageous, as well as competent and professional. These are characteristics that define Lieutenant Tice and are embodied in the Lieutenant Aaron Jerome Tice Jr. Colleague Award. And the recipient of this prestigious award for BLET Class 66 is Officer Benjamin Powell. Maybe do it without the glasses.
Good morning. Thank you, Chief Thompson. Just one note, this is Chief Thompson's last graduation. He will be retiring January the 31st, 2014. But he will be moving on to serve as the Chief of Police of Spartanburg, South Carolina. So let's give him a hand for all of his service to the community. Good morning again. Good morning to Class 66. Thank you to all the elected officials, Mayor Jones, Mayor Pro Tem Burke, I think she left, and Councilmember Taylor. Thank you for being here, supporting this event and supporting public safety every day. Thank you to our guests and family members for being here this morning and supporting these graduates. As we move forward, it is important for these graduates to continue to have your support in the field that they are entering in. This is a great day for the city of Winston-Salem and the Winston-Salem Police Department. We have 30 new employees to add to our ranks and to our family. To Class 66, we had a pretty good conversation yesterday, but I do have a few parting words that I want to leave with you. Your BLET training is complete, but your learning is just beginning. You are embarking on a noble profession, but don't expect a lot of fame. Don't expect a lot of praise or thank yous. You will be tried and you'll be tested, but don't give up. You'll feel like at times that all that you do is not worthwhile, but don't give up. Your decisions will often be scrutinized by individuals with no law enforcement experience or training while they sit in the luxury and the safety of their homes. But don't give up. You will see things that the average person would never see, and in most cases they can't even imagine. But don't give up. To survive and navigate the highs and lows of this profession, be defined by something other than policing. I'm gonna say that again, be defined by something other than policing. Keep your priorities in order. Keep your God and your spiritual life at the forefront. Keep your family and close friends close to you, and let policing be third. When you leave this room, when you leave this ceremony, and you report to your assigned squads, take time to reflect back why you said you wanted to be a police officer. Remember that long application that had about 75 pages? Remember what you said in the interview, in the oral interview, and what you told your recruiter, why you wanted to be a police officer. I'm sure most of you said that you wanted to do things like you want to help the community, or you want to help people. So when you report to your squads and you complete your field training, it's okay to measure and judge a good day by how many arrests you made and how many citations you wrote. But measure your best days on how many people you were able to help and how many lives you were able to influence by your decisions. Your decisions will determine your destiny. And as a police officer, your destiny can have long-lasting effects. If one of us look bad, all of us look bad. So my challenge to you is rely on your training. Don't compromise your honor and integrity. And remember why you said you want to be a police officer. So as you leave this room, good luck to you, and I hope you have a long-lasting career. Sergeant Morris, as the Basic Law Enforcement Training Coordinator for the Winston-Salem Police Department, do you certify that the students of Class 66 have met all the school requirements and regulations and have successfully completed all courses and activities required for the police basic law enforcement training?
Yes, sir, I do.
And Sergeant Morris, having provided assurance that the members of Class 66 of the Winston-Salem Police Academy have met all requirements which entitle them to receive a certificate signifying successful completion of the Winston-Salem Police Department prescribed training program, please present these students for graduation, the receipt of their certificates and badges of their office.
Yes, sir. Row one, on your feet.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is tradition with Academy graduation that as I call the name of each recruit, that they shall come forward and receive their certificate and be congratulated by the dignitaries on stage. Additionally, as part of our ceremony, each member of Class 66 has selected someone to share in the honor of presenting him or her with their badge by pinning it upon them for the first time. This badge is a badge of honor. It serves as a symbol of public faith. It is accepted as an acknowledgement of public trust and obligates those who wear it to extremely high standards of personal and professional conduct, well beyond the expectations of the citizens you serve. Class 66, you are fully aware that not everyone can earn this badge. Be proud of your accomplishments and never tarnish the image of the badge you are about to receive. I would like for those friends and family who have been selected to pin the badge onto your loved one to go to the right-hand side of the room where the police backdrop is and await your officer to arrive. In keeping with the dignity of the ceremony, I ask that you hold your applause until after all the graduates have recited the oath of office. Basic Law Enforcement Training, Class 66, Delton Adams, Jr. William Armstrong. Eddie Battress. Aaliyah Beer. Adam Barak. Mary Burton. Adam Knipe. Tiffany Capel. Christopher Carlton. Nathan Cobbler.
Rule 2, on your feet.
Councilmember Bessie, if you would join us on stage, sir. Seth Conklin. Amani Fiol. David Fuentes. Jonathan Gonzalez. John Heyer. Brandon Hill. Andrew King. Matthew LaValle. Aaron Lazuski. Nicholas Long. Nicholas Masario. Gregory McCann. Sean Morale. Benjamin Powell. Ryan Rendelman. Scott Rosasco. Mitchell Saint Sing. Sean Wagoner. Jessica Watts. Dariah Wiley. I'll now call forward Clerk of Superior Court, Ms. Susan Fry, to administer the oath of office.
If you would, place your left hand on the Bible and raise your right hand. If you wish to affirm, raise your right hand. Do each of you solemnly swear or affirm that you will be alert and vigilant to enforce the laws of the state, and that you will not be influenced in any manner on account of personal bias or prejudice, and that you will support and maintain the Constitution and the laws of the United States and the Constitution and laws of North Carolina, not inconsistent therewith, and that you will be faithful and impartial in discharging and executing the duties of your office as a law enforcement officer according to the best of your skills, abilities, and judgment. So help me God. Say, I do. I do. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Congratulations, Class 66. You are officially members of an elite group of highly trained police officers, and you are held by both the public and the government to the highest standards of conduct. Those standards, known as the Law Enforcement Code of Ethics, is printed on the 8th page in today's program. I invite the audience to follow along as these new police officers join all sworn law enforcement personnel here today in reciting this code. Will be led by Assistant Chief Brian Blakely.
Please recite with me the Code of Ethics. As a law enforcement officer, my fundamental duty to serve mankind, to safeguard lives and property, to protect the innocent against deception, the weak against oppression or intimidation, and the peaceful against violence or disorder, and to respect the constitutional rights of all men to liberty, equality, and justice. Keep my private life unsullied as example to all. Maintain courageous calm in the face of danger, scorn, or ridicule. Develop self-restraint, and to be constantly mindful of the welfare of others. Honest in thought and deed, in both my personal and official life. I will be exemplary in obeying the laws of the land and the regulations of my department. Whatever I see or hear of a confidential nature or that is confided into me in my official capacity will be kept ever secret unless revelation is necessary for the performance of my duty. I will never act officiously or permit personal feelings, prejudices, animosities, or friendships to influence my decisions. With no compromise for crime and with relentless prosecution of criminals, I will enforce the law courteously and appropriately without fear or favor, malice or ill will, never employing unnecessary force or violence, and never accepting gratuities. I recognize the badge of my office as a symbol of faith, and I accept it as a public trust to be held so long as I am true to police service. I will constantly strive to achieve these objectives and ideals, dedicating myself before God to my chosen profession, law enforcement. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you remain seated while the guests on stage, the new graduates, and veteran officers with the Winston-Salem Police Department exit the room. We thank you for coming. Please join the recruits and staff in the foyer to offer your congratulations. The class will form up briefly for a group portrait in the hallway, and photographers will be here for the next 30 minutes. Sergeant Morris, please dismiss your class.
Class 66, I informed you on the first day that I hold the keys to the gate that opens to our profession at Winston-Salem Police Department. I informed you that all of you would not go through the gate. All of you did not. But to the 30 of you standing here before me, consider the gate open, and I now officially turn you over to Patrol Division. Class 66, for one final time, dismissed.
Class 66, dismissed.